Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Bring Back the Love Conversations, a conversation about love, romance, and R&B. I'm your host, AJ Throwback. Great to be here with you on another Friday night. And I am here. When I tell you this sister right here, like this is like my sister right here. Like we go way back, way back. You know what I mean? Like she's one of the first people to like share, like share her stage with me. You know what I'm saying? Like just man, we go back to walls. We get, we got the music stuff together. When I tell you this is like one of my favorite people in the whole wide world, singing, just people down to earth people otherwise. And when I tell you this girl party, this girl party. You know what I mean? None other than my sis, Keyona Hargett. How you doing this evening?
I am wonderful. Yeah, that just touched my heart. You're one of my favorite people in the whole
Ah,
world.
thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, it's only right that you be the first actual singer that I have on the platform. And I'm gonna tell you another reason why it was only right that you were on here, because I remember when I was sharing some snippets of some beats that I was working on. This was like back in 2021. And you was like, you are single-handedly bringing back R&B. And little do you know that one statement inspired not only this project that I'm working on, but it inspired this series that I'm working on right here. So I got to give you your props and thank you publicly for being one of the many inspirations behind this whole movement that's going on.
No, you're absolutely welcome. And I meant that. I do remember that. I meant that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I definitely appreciate that. So I'm so honored to have you on tonight, and I'm excited. To like I said before we got this thing started, to kind of do this little something different than I've done with everybody else. Um, but I mean, the conversation basically is still the same for the most part. Of course, it's about R&B. It's about something new. How like the relationships we've been in, gotten into, currently in, how those relationships brought something new to us. And of course, just kind of reminiscing, because that's really what it's about, like thinking about like how we fell in love with R&B. And I think that's the perfect place for us to start. So we received music differently in our particular generation than I think how a lot of younger people receive music now. So kind of sort of thinking about that, like what were your first recollections in terms of how you received music, like whether it was the radio, whether it was video music videos, however, or all of the above? Like how did you receive music coming up?
So I'm blessed to have an older brother. He is 9 years older than I am. And my dad passed away. I was really young. I was like 5 years old. And I don't know, something, I don't know, between us, we just got closer, which also meant that I was staying up late at night. And so my mother just said, I'm not fighting with the bedtime. You get up for school and do your schoolwork and pass, you're fine. So I would be up at night late with my brother, listening to slow jams, right? Um, we had the old school stereo system with the tiers on it. You had space for your albums. Then you had the tape deck, and then you had the CD deck, and then
Yep,
you had the deck where the turntable was. Yep,
yep.
with the glass that closes and the big speakers on the
I
side.
had that.
So um, late at night, my brother taught me how to make slow jam tapes. So I'm in the first and second grade learning how to, like, okay, hit pause and play at the same time, how to fade it out, unpause it, to record the song. And he taught me how to put it together as a story. So that meant you got to listen to the lyrics. You had to listen
Mhm.
to the lyrics. So I know the words to songs that I probably should not have known the words to as that young. But that's where I learned to love not just the beat, right? I learned to love lyrics, metaphors, and I learned symbolism and just good voices and good harmony. That's the other thing. My brother also played an instrument. He played trombone, trumpet, and baritone. And that was my first introduction to learning how to harmonize. because he's listening to it to learn it for band. So he played in marching band at Eastern High School and Howard University. So he's listening to the songs because he's got to learn his part as a musician. But then he's having me learn the harmonies so that when they're writing it out for the trombone line and the trumpet line, they know what voices they're listening for. So he kind of taught me how to hear things musically. I tease him. I call him Maddie Moss Clark because he would like sing this line. Tomorrow know the words of this song, right?
Yeah.
So just not only spending the nights with him, listening to R&B and slow jams. When I get home from school, because I was a latchkey kid, I better review this song because my brother gonna ask me, do I know the words? He gonna ask me to harmonize this. So I'm listening to songs. I'm listening to Gerald Levert. I'm listening to Luther Vandross, Anita Baker, Whitney Houston. Oh, Whitney Houston from top to bottom. And I'm not just listening. I'm practicing all the songs from top to bottom. Because why? He gonna ask me tonight, do I know the words of the song? Do I know the notes? Okay, harmonize with me right here.
Yeah.
So that nighttime R&B and slow jams, and then I would be mad if we stayed up too long and the slow jams went off. Now we ain't got nothing to do. Now we gotta go to sleep.
Yeah.
So I just learned to love all of the pieces of music first. And then I was a dancer. I'm a trained dancer in ballet, jazz, and tap. So that meant I had to learn to feel the music because you got to portray it on stage.
Yeah.
So all of those elements. That's why when you said, "Yo, and she party," I party because I'm feeling all of it all the time.
See, I like that. Like, and I'm glad that was a kind of a setup, because like not knowing all of those particular layers about how you receive music or how you connect with music maybe differently than other artists or just other people, period. Like knowing that backstory, it makes a lot of things make sense in terms of, because I mean, for people out there that don't know Kiki is very, very passionate when it comes to all of the layers, whether it's from the dance aspect, whether it's from the singing aspect, when it comes to just talking about music. Like, you have always been one of my favorite people to talk music with, because you just understand it and you receive it on a different level than a lot of people that I talk to, you know what I'm saying? Even other artists, So I appreciate you even just sharing that story with me.
Oh, absolutely. And I thought I was in the band too. So my brother got me listening to songs and learning routines with him. So I'm like, well, maybe one day I might have to show up. So that was another thing. Like, you never knew who you were going to have to fill in for. Like, you just never know. And then as I became an adult, and I do remember in college, there was a young lady, she was supposed to sing a solo I was in a gospel choir. She was supposed to sing this song. It's a Hezekiah Walker song. And she hadn't sang it in rehearsal. And we were literally coming up on the concert. And the one day that she sang it in rehearsal, everybody's face was like, I don't know if this is the move.
Yeah.
But I was prepared because I had taken the opportunity. I was just listening. Okay, well, let me learn the song. I might need to sing it one day. Or I would learn the soprano and the alto part in case I had to switch.
Yeah.
My brother would drill that in me. Like, you don't know where you're going to have to fill in. And so for me, listening to all the parts of music, like even now with the band, I have two bands. One is a full 11-piece band with horns and two guitars and all of that. One is a smaller band. But we might be in rehearsal and we've been playing this song, and I'll look at the MD and I'll say, isn't this missing? He'll be like, you know that's in the song?
Yeah.
He's like, well, the fact that you recognize it's missing now I got to figure out how to put it in. Now I got to figure out who's gonna play that. He said, because if you, as the person singing it, is anticipating hearing that, there's probably a listener that's also anticipating hearing that familiar part of the song.
So, yeah, that's powerful right there. Like being able to like break down those parts and recognize what needs to be in there, and even to the point of what maybe needs to be taken out, because that's another thing about music sometimes is understanding when that you have to leave enough room. And I had to kind of sort of go through those kind of bumps as a producer myself, knowing that you need to leave enough room for the vocalist, no matter whether you're talking about a singer or a rapper. Like you have to leave enough room for the vocalist because the vocalist is another instrument. So you have to weave the music around whatever whoever the vocalist is, and knowing what their voice is doing, what their intonations are, what kind of singer they are, tenor, soprano, alto, whatever, and framing the music around that person and their voice. So
Mhm.
kind of sort of thinking about that, because that's a good place to kind of continue on. Like when you think about whether you're talking to producers, whether you're talking about vocalists, the combination of producers and vocalists, who are some people that you felt like just got it when it came to all of those elements, kind of sort of giving you the fullness of an experience when you were listening to their music?
I I gotta say, Babyface.
Yeah.
I, like we saw him in concert recently,
Mhm.
and him not just doing his songs, but then when he goes to the part of his show where he does all like songs that he's written or produced, and then some of the songs I was like, "You did that!" And you go from the songs that have a whole lot of complexities in the background, and then the songs that are very simple, like when you think of Shoop from Waiting to Excel, and realize
Yes.
they just didn't have any words for the chorus, so she filled in temporarily. Shoot, shoot, shoot,
Yeah.
baby, do, like that was literally just a fill in, and
Yeah.
he left it simple and it fits. It
Mhm.
works.
Mhm.
There's
Yeah.
not a lot of people who would be able to discipline themselves to say that's actually enough.
Yeah.
That's actually enough. Or thinking about Bobby Brown. Every little step I take, like who would have
Mhm.
thought Babyface would put that together?
Right.
That's that's action packed in the background when you think about everything that's going on instrumentally and computerized, and his voice, and it had to be a party song. Like it had to
Right.
fit Bobby. It had to go.
Yeah.
Um, which was drastically different from him being in the deal.
Yes. You talk about it.
So for me, it's Babyface, and I was one of those people because, of course, I'm sitting there listening to slow jams on the radio. I love to take the CD and flip it over and look at the notes on the back, and then when they start
Yes.
putting the booklets in, I
Yeah.
would read all the liner notes. I would be able
Mhm.
to tell you who was the producer, who was the writer, if the singer had any writing credits on this song. I would
Yep.
I would read all of that stuff.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
With Babyface, hands down.
Yeah. Yeah. That's that. I mean, he's when it comes to producers, he's definitely on my Mount Rushmore for sure. Like when I say so much of how he creates, how he thinks, how he approaches things musically, and from a writing perspective, like when I say there aren't too many people I studied more than Babyface, the only people that I might have studied just as much, I would probably say Gamble and Huff and Jam and Lewis. You know what I'm saying? Like, but Babyface, like he is like he's like one of the goats for sure when it comes to just understanding the different layers, and like you said, knowing when certain songs need a little more, and when certain songs they're fine the way that they are. That's production 101 to me.
Yeah, yeah. And me as a vocalist, I find it difficult when I'm singing live. Sometimes I have to literally say to myself, you don't have to sing right here. The musicians are fine. You can leave
Mhm.
it empty. You don't need to
Mhm.
ad lib, you don't need to scat. Leave it empty. Let the people actually feel the music. Um, that's one of those things where I'm like, the people that I want to come see me are need to be people that love music, that are okay listening to the musicians get it.
Yeah.
I got, yes, I did use my instrument. I played my instrument, and now the keyboard player gonna get some. Now the
Mhm.
percussionist, now the bass, now the lead. I'm
Mhm.
gonna let the trombone player come on in and sing some. We're
Yeah.
going we're going to enjoy the rhythm and the combination of sound, not a wall of sound, but we're gonna enjoy the combination of harmony and melody together.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because it has to be blended well together. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm glad that you said not a wall of sound. Like it's everything working in concert with one another. And something you said that kind of jumped out to me in terms of like sometimes just letting the musicians be the show, be the stars of the show. Because the thing is, the vocalists and the musicians, especially in a live element, they have to work like that, you know what I'm saying? But it's the same thing even in the studio too, because one of the things that you kind of made me think about was the fact that like during that time, because as soon as you said Babyface, all I could think was my. And the fact that like, yeah, we all focus on Johnny Gill and his vocals, but how Kenny G weaved that saxophone playing in the midst of all of that like great singing that he was doing, and what he did really complemented everything that Johnny was doing, all the production, after seven in the backgrounds, like all of that stuff, all of those elements just work so well together. The lost art of the instrumental solo in the middle of like a great song where like the singer is just going to town, talk about that, like those days, like you would listen to certain songs and like you had somebody have a solo on the piano, they have a solo on the sax, they have a solo on the guitar, whatever it might be, or just a synth solo. Like talk about that type of appreciation, especially for somebody like you who appreciates all the different layers of a song.
So I think that when we as singers don't train as much, when all we do is sing. And when I say train, I mean we don't go to the vocal coach and have them retune our instrument. We don't sing on just the vowel sounds anymore. So the history of scatting is literally imitating an instrument. But you can't imitate an instrument that you don't listen to. That means listening to it is not just hearing it one time. That means training with it. That means sitting with cats that play on a regular basis, listening back to the recording, imitating that trumpet, imitating, the trombone, imitating the saxophone, doing what you can so that when it is a chance for the instrumentalist to come through, vocally you match them, or vocally you signal them that it's your turn. And there's no way that you can get into a good back and forth battle, right? If you don't know how to imitate that sound. Yep. But you got to train that. You got to train that.
Yeah.
And I also think, and there may be some people that don't like this, but so I'm also a Zumba instructor, and one of the things that the founder of Zumba says is, your ego is not your amigo.
Ooh.
Just because you're the lead singer or you are the singer for the night, there are some people that came to support the guy playing trombone.
That's right.
So give him some space. Let your voice complement what he or she is doing.
Yeah.
But that also means listening when you are rehearsing. Listen for the space. Listen for where you can match. Train. Let your vocal coach help you imitate and learn the sounds of other instruments and how you can synthesize those things. But if you don't train, you miss the artistry.
Yes.
You just miss the artistry, and you miss the necessity of other instruments. Like I said, your ego is not your amigo. They're here. They're here to support you. But if you can't step back and support them, I have heard musicians say it's some people that they really don't like to play for. Because you can show up as a diva or divo, but don't step on nobody else's diva.
Right.
Don't be so, so high strung on yourself that you can't step back. Let everybody say that was a good show all the way around.
Yeah.
everybody got some. Everybody got out.
Yeah.
Respect the game. Respect everybody that's there. Even the sound engineer. Respect the
Mhm.
sound engineer. Don't
Yes.
bust up the equipment.
Right.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
You know, um, if someone says that you're out of key or out of tune, respect the fact that they're listening with different
Yes.
ears.
Yes.
You know, respect that. And maybe you need to pull back. Or maybe you need to tell them, okay, something's too loud on stage. I can't hear. Be honest
Right.
about it.
Yeah.
And then as well, remember that music is emotional,
Mm-hmm.
and musicians have to play it with emotion too. So give them space to have that emotion.
Yeah.
Um, Unfortunately, I think there's just too many singers now that don't study music, like just study
Right.
music,
Yeah.
read music. Like I played saxophone,
Mm.
so I can read music.
Yeah.
At least try, at least attempt, at least train your ear so that you know, okay, the keys are in one key, but it sounds like the guitar player is in another key. Can y'all play that again together? Are y'all
Mm.
matching?
Mm.
But that means you're a part of the instrumentation. You're a part of the team before it's time to get on stage. And I think musicians actually respect that better when they know you're actually listening for everything versus I'm the star. Y'all just get it right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. You said a lot there that like I'm like, wow. Um, I wholeheartedly agree with. And it also made me think of another missing element in music period, but specifically R&B music. We came up during a time with singing groups. You don't have them anymore. Like you don't have any that are like at the forefront or that are prevalent. I'm sure there are singing groups out there, but a lot, to your point, a lot of what music has become period is very singularly focused. One artist, like they're the artist. And I think a lot of times when you have people who kind of sort of step on other people's toes, or they want to have all of the spotlight, it's because I don't think a lot of people now are growing up in groups. They're not growing up in choirs. They're not growing up in bands. They're not growing up with, I mean, a lot of that has to also do with like them taking music out of schools, because we had to learn that togetherness in the school system, you know. And I don't proclaim to be anybody's singer, but I learned a lot of the elements of like how things work together in terms of understanding harmony and in terms of understanding the different parts of songs, in terms of understanding how people's voices mesh together, even frequencies, like learning that from like other engineers, sound people, like all of these different things. But when you have a lot of people who don't grow up in that, I think that it puts them at a huge disadvantage. You know what I mean? And I think when we see the lack of R&B groups compared to when we were coming up, I mean, like if I mean you had a lot of solo stars, you had a lot of groups, a lot of great groups. Like I mean, I'm thinking about like In Vogue. Like when I say one of the greatest harmonizing like groups of all time, Boys to Men, one of the greatest harmonizing groups of all time. Like that's what we came up on. We're not seeing that anymore. You know, like, do you feel like because of a lot of people wanting to be solo acts and not really having, I guess, those platforms or that support system in terms of learning how to be in a group a lot of times, or learning how to function with other people when it comes to creating, that's why we're seeing the lack of groups. We're seeing the lack of really live instrumentation for a lot of artists, not all artists, because there's a lot of artists that really still believe in that, they hold fast to that, but there is still like it even affects the live performances for a lot of artists because they're not being sharpened in that way by working with other people. Like what do you think about that?
I guess I have a couple. different ideas about it. It may be that people's egos have taken over and we just want to be solo artists, or we don't believe that there's anybody else that would want to, roll and ride with us like that. Um,
Mm, that's a good point.
because if you think about the demise of a number of groups, what was it? Was it 702 and a couple other girl groups that had some hits, but they didn't stay together, and you find out there was some colorism going on or some rumors here or whatever. I think
Mm,
people have been hurt so much that to be in a group um, is hard. Being in a group of any sort is also you gotta pull back. You gotta humble yourself. You gotta when someone says, "Hey, I don't think that's right," or they go direct and say, "Oh, you got a key," or "Don't sing that. Don't sing that part,"
yeah.
and they just say it like that. Don't sing that part. Um, which I too have had to learn how to just be direct. If
Mhm.
someone beside me, like, don't sing that, don't do that.
Yeah.
I try to do that in rehearsal. Try to do it nicely, um, but because we want the end product to be, as good as it can. It might not be perfect, but it's got to be as good as it can.
Yeah.
Um, I don't really know. Um, you're right. We don't have a whole lot of choirs anymore. We have a whole lot of praise teams. Um, and unfortunately, a lot of praise teams, church folks, y'all can get mad at me if you want to. I don't care. Jesus still loves me. Um, um, unless the people on the praise team have history together of singing together in the choir, praise teams don't blend well.
Mm, mm, yeah.
They just don't.
Yeah.
I've been on production teams for churches, and you sound one way inside the sanctuary. When we listen to the playback.
Different story.
Yeah, make a joyful noise. Make a joyful noise. Yeah,
Uh,
and so we don't have the same blending. You're right. And
yeah.
church choir blending is different than like school choir blending.
Hmm.
I was in school choir. I was in ninth grade chorus at the Allen Steele Junior High School. I know we went to Jackson. Um,
I ain't gonna say nothing.
but like you said, in school, we learned to work together. So
Yeah.
we didn't just have soprano, alto, and tenor. We had first and second sopranos, first and second altos, bass, baritone, and tenors, first and second tenors. So we are hearing how these different parts blend together when something should sit on top and you hear it a little bit more when
Yeah.
the director says, okay, altos come out just a little bit more, so we hear that dissonance in the chord. But
Mm,
if you don't learn that, you don't realize how much being in a group would actually benefit the sound and the body of the sound.
yeah.
Uh One of the last interviews I watched with Usher on Club Shay Shay, and he, made inference that there was supposed to be a group that he would be in. We think of those things as being powerhouse, combinations, and they would be. But
Yeah.
what it also does is kind of level everybody. Like,
Mhm.
hey, we're here together.
Yeah.
What I do got to complement what you do, and vice versa. Um, One of my favorite groups was Levert.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Gerald Levert was gonna be my baby daddy. I didn't care how many years of age he was. Gerald Levert. But when you listen to the song, not just because Gerald gonna come in, like a Tasmanian devil, but the different voices when they come in, right? Gerald when he come in. You knew what was his brother's name? Can't think of his brother's
Sean.
name. Sean. You knew Sean when he came in, and you knew
Mhm.
the tall guy. What was his name? Dwayne or
Mark
something
Gordon.
like that.
Mark
Mark.
Gordon.
Yeah,
Yep.
Mark Gordon. You knew, and when you heard Mark, you're like, oh, he got a
Yeah.
part on this. He got a part on the joint, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, but they blended well together because they
Mhm.
didn't try to outshine each other. This is Levert. This is the group. Um, there's a after seven.
Yes. Woo. Woo.
Ready or not,
Mm, mm.
I give you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They work together as
Yeah.
well as know your lane.
Yep.
But you don't learn that if you don't, do that in a choir, do that in a group. Know your lane.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know, again, same as instruments. If you have other people singing with you on stage, let them shine in the
Yeah.
place where they shine. It's
Yeah.
fine. People always had a conversation about Destiny's Child when it got down to just the three, Kelly, Beyonce, and Michelle. And people be like, well, why is Michelle there? She don't sound like she doesn't fit. They complemented each other. If you just listen,
Yep.
just they complemented. And she had her lane, Kelly had her lane, and yes, Beyonce had her lane. They complemented each other, not trying
Mhm.
to compete. They complemented each other, and I think that's why their solo careers worked the way they did. And people like,
Agreed.
oh, the other two aren't as famous and popular as Beyonce. Don't measure their success by one person.
Right.
Don't do that because they
Mhm.
each had their own goals of where they were trying to go and their own voices. Um, eh, so it's unfair to compare them if they're different,
Right.
but they
Exactly.
work together in synergy.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Wholeheartedly agree. I think
One more thing.
Oh, absolutely. Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
People got to be comfortable spending time with people. I don't know if you realize it, but
Yes.
people don't like to just chill with people no more. So if you're
Mhm.
uncomfortable and you have anxiety around people, people are like, oh, I'm not a people person. Okay, well, I need you to survive. We need each
Come on
other.
now.
We need each other. And
That's
so
right.
if you don't ever hang with somebody else or don't, what they say, you shed with somebody, y'all just hanging and there's some good energy and synergy just come out of nowhere, some good magic. You
Yeah.
don't learn that blending. You don't learn that pull back. You don't learn that, oh, go ahead, get out, girl. All right, I'm gonna
Mhm.
harmonize behind you. Go ahead, do it again. I got you.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have to we have to learn to connect better outside of the computers now.
Yes. That's right. That's right.
And maybe
Yeah.
that's the reason. We just don't connect anymore.
That's a very I think that might be the best. I mean, you made a lot of great points, but that might be one of the best points in terms of the struggles of the modern artist is that lack of camaraderie. Because a lot of times people see another artist as competition
Competition.
instead of looking at it more like the potential for collaboration, and not
Mhm.
even necessarily collaboration just artist to artist. Like some of the people that I've worked with, other rap artists, we start off as friends. You know what I'm saying? And it ended up progressing into a synergy in terms of working together rap wise. Like I got friends, like I was friends with perfect example, my guy Hez, who was
Mhm.
on my song Proof of ID. I knew Hez for 4 years before we ever did a song together. My guy Bricks, who was also on the same song, I knew Bricks for like maybe well, we had been on another song before that.
Mhm.
But even to that song, that was like maybe a 3 year gap.
Mhm.
So I feel like when you build the personal relationship with people first, it makes that relationship that you do creatively or professionally with that person or has a potential to make it even better. Now, in certain instances, people don't know how to handle their business. And that's why they be, messing up in certain situations trying to work with people creatively. But I feel
Mhm.
like if you at least go try to like just have that camaraderie with people, say, hey, let's go kick it. Let's hang out at this event real quick. Or
Mhm.
let's go, network or whatever it might be. Like we're not necessarily the stars of the show, but hey, I want to go support this guy or I want to support I want to support my homegirl over here, whatever it might be. It's like, yeah, a lot of times I think because that's what our generation and generations before us, and even, like a lot of millennials, like
Mhm.
that's what they grew up with. What we grew up with. I think it's sometimes, like you said, it's often a trust factor with
Mhm.
you don't know what people's intentions are. You've
Yeah.
seen how, especially in this business, you've seen how shady people can be, how
Yeah.
people can be backstabbers and all of these different things. And a lot of times it makes you reticent to say, do I really want to work with these people, or are they my ops? You know
Yeah.
what I'm
But
saying? Like,
also, but also remember in the earlier on in R&B in the industry, people wrote for other people all the
yep,
time.
yep.
Just it's like they were trading stuff back and forth. Just nah,
Hmm.
get this to that person. I know they on a different label, but go ahead. Or
Yep.
we gonna meet up instead of meeting in LA. Let's meet in like Oklahoma or something. Let's meet where nobody is gonna be, flashing cameras watching us. We can go ahead and write this,
Yep.
put this down together, put it on the CD or put it out on the radio. Nobody has to even know. Just put it out.
Mhm.
You do it.
Yep.
Now we're finding out all the background history. Oh, such and such wrote that song for this person, but they didn't want it, so they gave it to that person, and it's not an issue. Like if we ran down Prince's catalog, like
Yeah.
there's so many songs. People are like, Prince wrote that?
Yeah.
Oh, sure did.
Mhm. Mhm.
Michael was in the studio with who?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And some of the background stuff, like seeing I'm trying to remember what song it was, but it was Michael Jackson, and somebody was telling Michael how to sing it, and to
Mm.
actually hear him say, "Okay, do it for me again. Okay, do it again. Okay." Or what's the song? Butterflies. When you
Mm.
when you hear the demo and you realize that Michael didn't change a whole lot from the demo,
Right. Yeah.
that's collaboration. That means he trusted what they did was fine. That, oh, I don't need to do a whole lot. I
Yeah.
trusted what they did was fine. Or
Yeah.
even entertaining a music session where somebody wants to present songs. If you're not in the industry, you don't realize how much that happened and how much it needs to happen.
Yeah.
Um, and how humbling that experience can be for writers, especially if you get in a room with someone who is well known and popular and say, "Hey, I got some songs I want you to listen to."
Mhm.
They might not like none of them, or they
Right.
might like them and just not want to buy them from you.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't know what to do with it.
Right? They don't know, or they know, hey, it don't fit me, but this is
Right.
great.
Right.
And let me know if I need, you need some help reaching out to some other people.
Mhm.
But you're right, that collaboration piece is
Yeah.
very important. And this is for me too, knowing that when I go collaborate with somebody, even if it's a studio session, that I don't have to be perfect.
Mhm.
That's really hard for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, make your mistakes, Keyona. Just drink your water, warm up your throat.
Mhm.
It might not be perfect the first time, and
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah. 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 That's I think that's great advice for all creators out there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's great stuff. Great stuff. So, let's get a little specific. I feel like if there's anybody who will be able to like meet this challenge, is you, because you have a really great depth in terms of like your musical knowledge. Clearly, you know what I'm saying? From this conversation, anybody that's watching this, getting to know you for the first time, they can clearly see that. I know that personally, but I think everybody else can see that now. But so this particular part of this limited series that I'm doing, this part is about new love or something new. Or being introduced to something that you might not have been used to in previous relationships. Is there a song that you can think of that kind of sort of gave you that hope to find your something new one day?
Hope to find something new one day.
Or something special? It doesn't even necessarily be new, but just special, something that just is you want, like, you heard that song, like, I want that kind of love.
Um, Maybe not before. Well, actually, yeah. Now that I think about it. So I'm a Whitney Houston fan, up and down.
Yes.
You name a Whitney Houston song, I probably know the words, all of her ad libs. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so this is a two-part story.
Okay.
When Saving All My Love for You came out, I was probably about 5 or 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I got caught singing it on the playground at
Yeah.
a I was at a 7-day Adventist private school.
Uh-oh.
Teacher heard me singing it, and instead of scolding me, she had me sing it for some other teachers, and I was
Oh
like,
boy.
I'm not sure if this was quite the right song because now I'm mature. I'm a mature little kid, so I'm
Yeah.
like, these words, I don't think this is right. So I actually moved to one of her more popular songs, "You Give Good Love,"
Yeah. Yeah.
and that actually became my audition song.
Mm.
Anytime I audition for even now, if somebody said that's my go-to.
Yeah.
Um, and then when I started dating my husband, I actually took him down to the monument. You know, there's the stage down there by the monument where they have concerts and stuff. It
Yeah.
was late at night, and he said, "Sing something for me."
Mm.
And I stood. I actually went up on the stage, and nobody arrested me, but it was late. And I started singing, and I
Yeah.
feel like it was the first time I understood truly what she was saying. She was saying, "This man that I am with just loves who I am,
Yeah.
just the way I am."
Yeah.
And it was like, that's what I need. And it was
Mm.
almost like I was standing there saying to him, I just need you to love me like this.
Yeah.
Give me just good love. Just give it to me.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to say that he does. Like, I'd be like, oh, God, you did that. You did that.
Yeah.
Um, and then I guess in renewing that, I sang at a wedding, one of my cousin's wedding, and she wanted the song by Ledisi, Love All the Way.
Mm. Oh, whoo, whoo. I love that song.
I literally had to tell my husband, do not look at me while I'm singing this song. I could not get through it without crying.
Yeah.
I just could not. She's like,
Yeah.
love me with all of your heart, will you? Love me when things get too hard. I was like,
Mm,
that's
mm,
baby, that's where we are.
yeah.
I know I think at that time we had been married like 5 or 6 years, and I was like, yo, you still love me like this? Because this is what I want. All
Mm,
the way. Love me all the way.
mm.
Ooh, chat. I mean, I literally, even when it comes on the radio and we in the car, he'd be like, you want me to turn it? No. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
said he even dropped a little tear.
Little thug say it real quick.
No, but and I just love songs like that just make you go in retrospectively and I hope for many of us, many people who are still single or in situationships, that songs actually make you go, is this the love I'm getting?
Mm-hmm.
Evaluate that relationship. Music should make you, go introspectively into your life and say, is that what I'm really getting? Is that what I feel when I wake up in the morning and look over there and he's snoring and I want to chop him in the throat, but do I still love him?
Right.
It's that good that I'm just gonna go ahead and get up and get ready for work because you're snoring. I don't want to do that. Must be some good sleep.
Right.
I'm gonna
Right.
that. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I hope music gets back to doing that for people because,
Mhm.
you know, I listen. I'm praying for everybody that's out here in the game. I can't come off the bench, but you know, that's out here trying to find that love. And you listening to songs, man. I want that kind of love. I hope you find it, but I also hope that there's enough music around that will support that love, those feelings that you dance together with, you know, the person that you love and adore, that you have a wedding song. Like, do
Yep.
people even have wedding songs anymore? Like that you have a your song, like the song that comes on and you just stare into each other's eyes and don't say a word until the song is over.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want people to have that.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. And the music is a major part of really encouraging that, like now granted, some of the music is really it feels like fantasy, but it's like I think a lot of times, like even if you look at it from like, oh, this is just fantasy, this isn't real. It's like, but it was from somebody's thoughts.
Mhm.
Somebody out there wants that kind of love. So somebody out there believes that that kind of love is possible and that it's for them because that's the thing about when you get with your person, you realize that person is for you.
It's
That
for
person
you.
is exactly what you were looking for. The fact that I'm sitting here, I ain't gonna lie, like when you were telling that story about like singing "You Give Good Love" like to your husband, that's the song that like he asked or he asked you to sing a song, you sang that, and for that first time you understood the words of the song. That's exactly why one, I had to have you on here because you're a singer. Two, I had to have you on here because you're married. And three, this is exactly what this series is meant to do, is to say, have you found that person that makes you feel that particular feeling of that song that you may have held to your dear, near and dear to your heart for a long time? And if you haven't, do you hold out hope for it? It is clear that you have that. That's the beautiful part about you even telling that story, is that you actually have that, you know.
And my husband does not sing. He looks like a combination of Heavy D and Fred Hammond put together. Everybody's like, "Oh, does your husband sing?" I'm like, "Just to me." Um, and he he knows the words to the songs on the B side. I'm
Mm,
like, how you?
mm.
But
Oh yeah.
he is a romantic guy. Like you wouldn't, he's 6'6" and 300 some odd pounds. So you wouldn't look at that dude and be like, oh, he's romantic. But he very much is, and he does like if there's a song, it's kind of playful, but I can tell, you know, this is his way of verbally saying how he feels. Um, when we were dating, he used to work in Greenbelt, and we lived in Fort Washington. So I would go to Greenbelt, meet him at work because he's a chef. So I would go eat,
Hmm.
and then we would ride home, talking all the way, and we would
Yeah.
sit in the car for hours and just let the R&B, the good nighttime, you know, slow jams just run. And we
Yeah.
were dating during the time where Charlie Wilson had made a comeback. Like that's when all the
Mm,
and uh not You Are, but it's the other song. Is I can't. Is it You Are? Yeah, it is. It is You Are. The reason I love, the reason I trust.
mhm, mhm.
We would literally sit there in the car and singing that to each other. And
Yeah.
so when we got married in Jamaica, they asked what song that I want to dance to. So I chose that song. Now remember I said my husband doesn't sing.
Mhm.
But when we were dancing, he was singing loud and off key and with his whole heart, child, his whole heart. And those are like moments where you go, he really does. He feels for me what I feel for him.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
eyes closed, not caring that we were surrounded by people that could hear him being out of key.
Yeah.
You know, when we go to concerts together, and just yes, that fantasy of your dude singing to you, it's okay. It's not in key, but it's with every bit of emotion,
Yeah. That's important.
and that is important. That feels special, and
Yeah.
that's like to me that feels like I know he would be riding down the street, and if the song came on, he would think about me,
Mm-hmm.
right? Even ringtones. I didn't know that my ringtone was "There Goes My Baby."
Mm-hmm.
I called him one day in the house looking for him. Yeah. I was like, "What is that?" He said, "Oh, that's your song." What? Are you serious? So you mean when I call you and you out in the street, that actually goes off and everybody know? Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it's for everybody that's looking for somebody or you in a situationship and you're not sure. It is little things like that that you look for, you watch for. Like, do they let other people know, hey, nah, this what I'm doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
How long you gonna be unsure? Because I ain't got but so many months to be unsure,
All right. Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
There's some subtle things that they don't have to be. You don't have to walk up to him and say, "Okay, what's your song for me?" You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
I didn't know he chose that for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's
That's all.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
You have a moment real quick.
that's my baby. But for real, I mean, I really feel for people who are looking for their person,
Yeah.
and people often say that women are, we over romanticize relationship and marriage, but I think I believe God created us for companionship.
Mm-hmm.
We were not meant to do life alone. Now, if that doesn't for you, that doesn't mean marriage. That's fine. But do you even have a close friend who you love enough to do anything for, and they would do the same thing in return?
Right.
Like my best friend, it's the stupid. Well, it's not a stupid song, but the silliest song makes us cry.
Yeah.
You want to know what song it is?
What song is it?
Oh, I dance with somebody. What?
What?
It's literally our song. So I took her to brunch for her 40th birthday,
Yeah.
went to a drag brunch, and that
Yeah.
was one of the songs. And I just grabbed her and danced with her. And I realized we've been friends since we were 11 years old. And
Yeah.
she's the person I dance with. She's the person that I act dumb with.
Yeah.
And everybody should have a companion. Everybody should have a friend. They just, you know, I don't want to be buttoned up today.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be responsible today. Can you be
Yeah.
responsible? Can you be my chaperone today?
Yes. Yeah.
And that's our song for it. That's our best friend love song,
Yeah.
right? Of who
Yeah.
we are.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like you said, music, emotion, friendship, companionship, it can describe so many things.
Yeah.
And if you find yourself out here and you haven't found love, romantic love, do you have agape love? Do you have was it filial love, friendship love?
Mm-hmm.
That might be the place you need to start because some people don't realize you're not that friendly.
Right. That part.
Okay, maybe
Yeah.
you do need to sing some romance songs. You need to sing some songs
Mm-hmm.
and see
Mm-hmm.
if you're that friendly, if you're that loving.
Right.
Pull
Right.
that out. Chip
Yeah.
chip away the hard shell. I think music can do that.
I agree. Wholeheartedly agree. And to that point, see what your emotion is when you sing some of those songs. Because some people don't connect with those songs because they don't believe them. they don't believe that it could actually be their reality. So
Mhm.
it's hard for them to actually, if they hear, say, some of the songs from our era, or even if it's somebody from our generation that hears some of those songs, like, I don't like that song. I'm like, but do you not like it because you don't believe it
Don't
could
believe
be
it.
true for you? You know.
Mhm.
So that's powerful right there. That's powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, even
Yeah.
people, you remember when Drunken Love came out and everybody was like,
Oh yeah.
why she because she found somebody where she didn't have to be perfect all the time for her. Like she
Right.
could literally turn up
Mm-hmm.
and do that
Mm-hmm.
nasty stuff that y'all want to do with somebody too. She's
Right.
just telling us about it, okay?
Exactly. And she's doing it with her husband. That's the thing. Like that part. Like
Husband.
it ain't with a little pop off jump, you know what I'm saying? It ain't with a little bust down. Like, nah, that's her whole husband.
That's her whole husband. Isn't that why some of y'all got married anyway? Because you just wanted to do the nasty.
Right. You wanted to be all right with it.
Get out of here.
Right.
What's she
Yeah.
supposed to be? She's supposed to be a good girl forever.
Right. Right. Look, that's who she supposed to be nasty with.
Okay.
You know? Yeah. But that's real right there. That's real. Well, whew, this has been, I mean, in the series so far, this is definitely one of my favorites. I
Oh,
mean, like you gave everything that I wanted and needed out of like this series and more. You know what I'm
oh,
saying? So I definitely appreciate you for coming on tonight and just sharing your story, sharing like how you got into R&B, like how you fell in love with it, your relationship, like just the beauty of it. Because I'm gonna say this, like you and Javon, like I mean, y'all are just, man, like y'all. I feel like if somebody needed a goals couple, they could just look at y'all. You know,
oh.
and it's not to say that, I mean, no relationship is perfect. I mean,
It is not. It is not.
you know, we don't see, from the outside looking in, but the way that you talk about your husband has been the way that you talked about him since before he was your husband. As long as I've known the both of you, you have always talked about him in that same way. And that love, I know that love has grown between y'all through marriage and as long as y'all have been married. So like this to just to see how you react, it's like this is exactly why this series is necessary, because we need to see more examples of this in the space, So I just want to salute the both of y'all for, just
Thank
being a
you.
great example of great love, of great black love, all of that good stuff.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I love that dude. Yeah, he is one of those things that reminds me that there is something bigger than us.
Hmm.
Whether you call it God, divine, creator, but there is something bigger than us because there is
Yes,
no way that he could love me the way he does without some external thing that is internal or some
mm,
internal thing that is there's there's something bigger than just his humanness that
that's right.
helps him be that loving.
Yeah, yeah.
And he calls me wonderful. And I'm
Mhm.
like, that's got to be the God, the thing between us that
Yeah.
keeps us bound together. I love that dude. Hey, it's funny. I asked him if I came home one day and packed my bags to leave, what would you do? He said, pack my shit because I'm going with you.
I love it.
Where you going without me?
And that's the answer that he should have given. I love it. I love it. Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. And that man, and also I must say he is an incredible chef as well. Incredible chef. So, they always say the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. I think it's the way to anybody's heart is through their stomach. That helps.
Feed me, Seymour. Okay, feed me.
Right. Exactly. So once again, I thank you so much for coming on and having this conversation with me. Of course, with all of my esteemed guests that I bring on, because you do so much, so much. You are a Renaissance woman for real. I need you to plug like everything that you got going on, from everything you do with finances, Zumba instructing, singing, everything. Like plug it all. This is your time.
All right, let's go. Let's go. So I am a financial health coach. I help you get your money together. That's one of the things that in my maturity over 40, I decided, hey, I don't want my people to struggle anymore for lack of information and education, as well as I don't want my people to get scammed anymore. So please, if you need help getting your finances together, you need life insurance, you need to learn about investing, you need to figure out how to get out of debt, please reach out to me. My company is the Firewater Group LLC. You can hit me up on IG, Sweet Ms. MZ Kiki, or at Firewater Group on IG. You can text me. Everybody get your pen and paper out, pull your phone out. 240-435-7375. Again, 240-435-7375. If you text me, I will text you back. And you can just say, help me, and I will text you back. I also I do bookkeeping and accounting and some business consulting for small businesses. So whether you have a fitness business, whether you are an artist and you out here trying to figure out how to set up your business properly, um, and get yourself on ASCAP and BMI properly, get your publishing rights properly, help walk you through that. Um, Business from A to Z. Then let's move to fitness. I am a Zumba fitness instructor and I also teach strong. I'm teaching virtually right now. You can hit me up, same Sweet Ms. Key. Hey, get in my Sweet Ms. Key. Hit me up in the DM. Hey, send me the link, girl, because I need to get some. I need to unbig my back. Come on.
Said unbig my back.
I need to unbig my back. Yes, hit me up. I'm listen because I started working out because I was like, I can't be the fat girl on stage. I tried singing with Spanx on and a girdle. I can't breathe.
On your
So I can't breathe. So I was like, well, I guess we have to exercise, which actually helped with singing because that breath support, that breath control,
yes,
man, and
yes,
singing for 2-3 hours straight, dancing back and forth on stage. I was like, oh, this is easy.
yeah.
Um, and I'm a member of two bands. One is the Just Friends Band and Show, founded in 2011. Just all we wanted to do, we were contracted to perform for the Omega Psi Phi Centennial Celebration in 2011. We did that, and we have been together since then. So if you're looking for the big band with the bros,
Mhm.
um, hit me up. Same, hit me up, Sweet Miss Kiki, on IG, and I will put you in contact with that band. The second band is TDP, the Davis Project, um, founded by Mr. Marcus Davis, one of Prince George's County, Maryland finest music instructors. Um, I love me some Marcus. We have this synergy. He's like, I don't even have to say nothing to you. We've been doing this so long. We have this energy on stage. I look at him, he look at me. All right, I know where he's going. We don't even need to talk about it. That is the underscore Davis Project on IG. We actually have a spring event coming up on April the 7th down in White Plains. So if you need to catch a flight from DC to White Plains, let us know. Look out for that. I will make sure I post that up on the IG. And if you want a band for your birthday party, your organization, we do from jazz to R&B to old school funk to new school. And if you need it, we hit you with the go-go. Cause yeah, I'm from what?
That's
DC,
right. That's
baby.
right. Yeah. Got to represent.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's another thing that was important about having you on, because my first I gotta make sure I'm counting right. My first four guests before you are the only person so far that's from DC. The only person from the area. So it's like I had to have because we receive different music differently. Not this, and it's not to knock anybody else, but when I think about like our history in terms of like when you mention slow jams, like some of the people, the first people that come to mind, of course, love talking slow jams. You know,
Mm-hmm.
at that time, like in the '90s, but like even like kind of leading up to that period, like I came up on the Melvin Lindsays, the
Oh
Alvin
yeah.
Joneses, the Kevin Slow Jam and Jameses of the world. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
Like I came up on people like that that made me appreciate not just the music of my own time, but also the music like before my time. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So like because we were kind of spoiled in that way, and then on top of that, BET was headquartered here
In
at
DC.
that time.
Yeah.
So we really were spoiled when it came
Oh.
down to it.
Oh yeah. Because
You know.
it would be nothing to just find yourself in the area, and such as some artist was in the area because they were going to be on the show.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. Video Soul, you know what I'm saying? Of
Yeah.
course, Late Night, Midnight Love. Then you had like all these other shows that people don't even talk about, you know what I'm saying? Like I think was it Video LP.
I was
Uh
gonna say, are you old enough to remember Music Video Connections on Friday night?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. On Channel 9. Yeah. Yeah. I used to watch that faithfully. That was the
Mhm.
first because you had like Friday night videos, which I felt like was more pop, but Music Video Connection, they showed the music, more of the music
We.
we listened
Mhm.
to. That was for us. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like that was my show. I was so mad when that show went off, but then like I started like once I got cable and watched video, so I was like, all right, this is a good replacement right here. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
Music Video Connection, that was my show right there. One of my favorite video shows ever. Ever.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
we're aging. We're aging ourselves.
Yeah. We really are. Cause that was what's funny is you mentioned Levert. That was the first place that I ever heard Casanova was
Oh,
on Music Video Connection.
so I'm. I know we probably should have ended this a long time ago, but I have to because you said Levert.
Yeah.
There's one song that Levert, like when I say this song, people be like, "What year did that come out?" Pop, 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 pop,
Oh
goes
yeah.
my mind.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Every time I think of all the times I did you wrong.
Mm-hmm.
When the
Mm-hmm.
song comes on now, everything got to stop.
Yep. 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 It's one of them songs. Yep. Yeah, that's 86 right there.
Woo. When Gerald come in all smooth, I
Yep.
remember and you said I was the only. Oh, Gerald.
Yeah. That when I say Gerald Levert was probably one of my first favorite singers, like I was a huge Gerald Levert fan, still am, but like back when I was a kid, I absolutely loved Gerald Levert. Like he just had that voice, man. Like that Joan was just he just thought and the thing you said it, he knew how to like smoothly enter a song
Mm-hmm.
but then like go off.
Go off.
Like he understood the levels of a song and what to do in certain spots of a song to really make you
Mm-hmm.
feel the emotion of the song. Like it was a real thing for him for people to feel that emotion through his music.
Yeah,
But
and you mentioned DC and BET, but um, when people come to DC, they come prepared, like because the DC audience, you're gonna know if you actually hit it or if
mm-hmm.
you stunk it up. You're gonna
Oh yeah.
know,
Oh yeah.
and we just we still have it. This kind of connection to music. People start their tours in DC. Like,
Mm.
no, the first city we need to hit is DC because DC gonna tell us if we need to make some adjustments to
Right.
this show.
Exactly. Exactly.
Um, and there's an interview with I think CeeLo Green and even George Clinton said this, like, yo, whatever you do not let a go-go band open your show.
Right.
Do
Right.
not let a go-go band open your show because if they
Right.
play your song and they play it better than you, your show is done.
It's done. It's a wrap. just go home.
Just go home. If you don't come with the energy
Yeah,
that the band came with, because when them DC folks get into it, you better you
that's
better
right.
slide on. It's
Yeah.
don't do it. Don't shut yourself up. Same thing with my band performs. If we go on after the DJ, like let's say it's the second set,
Mm-hmm.
and the DJ is playing go go, we
Yeah.
just tell the DJ keep playing. We're gonna finish the song
Yep.
because
Yep.
now you got the people on the floor, and we can't lose this energy. We're not gonna lose it. So
Right. Right. That's reading the room.
we just gonna go with it.
Mhm. That's right.
I actually told the DJ at the last gig we did, I said, all the little songs you think you're gonna play, we're gonna play them.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to come up with a whole nother list. He was like, you serious? When I handed him the set list, he was like, oh, y'all playing that? Oh. I said, and some songs that's probably not on the list. Listen to the soundtrack. We did a couple different songs of soundtrack. He was like, well, damn, y'all played everything I'm gonna play. Oh, so yeah,
Yeah.
DC we just like I said, if you coming to perform in DC, we're definitely your temperature check. I think people in other places might be a little nice to you, be like, oh, okay, that was nice. No, we gonna be like, don't do that no more, girl. Right
That
on
wasn't
your
it.
page. That was cool.
That's real
Mhm.
though. That's real. I think a lot of that has to do with we just have a certain standard of music here. Like the live instrumentation. I mean, you got to be really good as a go-go band. Like you can't just be anybody's, off the street go-go band. Like you gotta put in that work. You gotta make sure that like your set is tight, that like you got the crowd. Like
Yeah,
if you can't get the crowd, especially this crowd here
yeah.
that barely likes anything outside of go-go half the time, you better bring it. You better bring it.
You are so right. You're so right. And I try to tell, the two bands I'm in, hey, we are not a go-go band. Let's be clear about that. We're not. But if
Mhm.
we're gonna play it,
Yeah.
play it.
Yes. Bring it.
Bring it. It's
That's
not a
right.
wall of just noise,
Mm-mm.
but
Mm-mm.
play it. Because Chuck was a jazz musician.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
He was a musician, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We have RE and Junkyard and back. They did original songs, not just covers. We have originals. Hot Cold Sweat. We have originals. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
don't just think you're gonna get up there and just bang on the drum and bang on the timbales and bang on the congas and that's go-go. That's not it.
No. No. It's musicianship involved.
Yeah, it's not it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you see, baby. You
That's
see.
right. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Well, we can
So
talk all night.
I know, right? But I really, 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 I'm so appreciative of you for coming on tonight. This was a great conversation. You're welcome back anytime. I don't be surprised if I hit you up again to be on another part of the series. You know what I'm saying? But I just love this conversation because all the platforms I done had, this is your first time on any one of my platforms. So
It is.
yeah, so this is an honor for me just to have you on any of my platforms. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, because I was like, he probably don't need nobody else, but I'm just gonna see if he.
No, nope. I needed a singer. I needed a singer who really understand the layers of music. I needed, my homegirl from way back. You know what I'm saying? Who we didn't have many of conversations like this before, but not even to this depth. You know what I'm saying? So like to be able to have you on here is truly an honor. So I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we gonna be we're gonna be talking real soon. You know what I'm saying? Especially when them challenges are rolling out there for these instrumentals I'm gonna be rolling out for this project. So yeah, don't be surprised if
Ooh,
you get a
okay, let me get myself together. Okay.
tag. Yeah, yeah. But I
I
once again I appreciate you for always supporting, like just not even just this, but just always just being a good friend, a great supporter throughout the years. I appreciate you, sis.
You are so welcome. Please hug your family for me, darling.
I definitely will, and give Javon my love. I appreciate it.
I will. Thank
All
you
right
so much.
now.
All right.
All right, peace. All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, that was my sis Keyona Hargett. Coming on, just giving a bunch, just dropping a bunch of gems, a bunch of jewels and everything. And I'm just so appreciative of her coming on here, like giving exactly what this series is all about, bringing back the love and also sharing like just her experience of how her husband brought something new to her life. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of something new, of course, this part of the series, this is a 5-part, might end up being 6-part. We're going to see. But right now, it's a 5-part to this particular part of the series. It's surrounding my new instrumental single, which is out right now, called Something New. You can get it on all platforms right now. Bear with me one second. Had to make sure. But you can get it on all platforms. It is on iTunes, on Amazon. Of course, it's on my Bandcamp page, which is ajthrowback.bandcamp.com. It's on Tidal and also on my website, bammllc.net. Once again, bammllc.net. So make sure that y'all go out and support, get that new single and all of that good stuff. So I just appreciate everybody who's been supporting the single thus far. This is the first single in the series for my upcoming instrumental project called Love on Rewind. So y'all make sure that y'all stay tuned for all of the information coming out about that. And of course, I'm going to have more merch. I got merch up on the page. If you are following me, please make sure that you follow me on social media at a.j.throwback on Instagram and TikTok and Threads, and on Facebook it is at AJ Throwback, and as well as Twitter is AJ Throwback, and right here on YouTube is AJ Throwback 928. If you're not already subscribed, please make sure you subscribe to the channel so that whenever I go live, post a new video, premiere a new video, you'll be among the first to know. And speaking of the merch, you can get this hat, you can get this sweatshirt, and all of the new merch that I've been rolling out in connection with this project, because y'all know me, anytime I roll out a new project, I always roll out some merch to be connected to it. You can link up with me on social media at batch.202. That is on Instagram and also Facebook. On X/Twitter, it is batch_202. And if you want to get the merch, you can go to bammllc.net/shop batch. Once again, that's bammllc.net/shop batch. Once again, much love to my sis Keyona Hargett for coming on for the show tonight. Much love to everybody who's been a part of this first round of the conversation. The next round of conversation is going to be around my next single, which will be announced in the next week or so. But for the time being, y'all enjoy these conversations. If you missed any one of the conversations, you can always go back and watch the previous conversation so that it all connects, makes sense. You can see all the stories from everybody who's been involved with it so far. Much love to everybody who has been involved with it so far. Once again, thanks to everybody for watching this particular episode of Bring Back the Love Conversations, or as I like to call it, Bring Back TLC, because you got to bring back the conversations in love, and you also got to bring back tender, loving care. All that good stuff. So once again, I've been your man, AJ Throwback. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, and we will see y'all the next time around right here on Bring Back the Love Conversations. So until next time, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.